emergency fund is a 6 months gross pay, so can easily cover bills for 8+ months, depending on how much I cut back in case of job loss. Either savings goals are on their way to being achieved. Kitchen remodel in 1 to 2 years. Okay, so this is a very good example of a person following the wealth game, step by step. Their education is very good. Their steps are sorry, I was distracted. There's somebody's calling my phone. But they're doing good. They're investing into their retirement. Okay, they have emergency fund. That's overkill. I'm very conservative, and it's 6 months for me of minimal really expenses, like what I need to survive on, not everything that we need. But now they're asking about 529. Of course, it's worth it. Yes, there are some things that we need to be conscious of. What if child doesn't want to go? Again, I'm not pushing the college. By no means. I don't even think we need to, but I want to give them this option, or give them that choice when times come to it. And that's why I'm looking into it. So it's definitely worth it. You can decide what you're going to do with the money. It can be used for education, mostly for accommodation. Like if they're living in the dorm, it can be used for that. Going more into depth, probably I should do one live specifically about cons and pros of 529, so we can all learn. But meanwhile, for mere mortals like myself, I just want to add that to my wealth building game, my wealth game, so I can give option to my children to go to college if they would like that. Okay. So now let's look at this one. I wish I had never opened 529. We have one child who is now 32. Back in 2006, we funded $45K into T. Rowe Price 529 plan. I made a mistake when opening the account in my son's name with him named as account holder and beneficiary and myself as a custodian. This mistake was caught in 2012. And through TRP, I moved the funds over to account in my name with my son as a beneficiary. In 2012, when he graduated at 19 years old, he wanted nothing to do with going to college or any other institution qualified to use these funds. Okay, so this is definitely a risk. Children might not want that. And again, in my opinion, I just want to give them options. Like in this case, this kid definitely had options. He worked various jobs in the restaurant industry, and at 21 moved out of our house. He worked his way up in restaurant industry, but has discovered this is not the career he wants. He and his girlfriend want to get married, but not sure if they want kids. In 2024, I helped him set up a Roth at TRP and transferred $7,500 and $7,500 in 2025 from the 529 under the assumption that the money has been in his name either as account holder or beneficiary for over 15 years. Did I screw up doing this? And if so, there a way to fix it? The account is now whopping $185,000. So as always, in the worst case scenario, what can happen is you'll have to pay taxes on that money. The benefit of this account is that you put money there. I believe before tax. Need to double check on that. Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's see. 529. Do I put money there before taxes? All right, let's see while ChatGPT figuring that out. The answer is no. Money going to 529 is after tax. It does not come out of your paycheck pre-tax like 401k. Oh boy, a lot of calls this morning already. All right, it's going to be a busy day for me today at work. It was a pretty busy one yesterday. Okay, so you put the money you've already paid federal tax on. The money grows tax-free, withdrawals are tax-free if used for qualified education expenses. A couple of important nuances people miss. Some states give you a state tax deduction or credit for contributions. That's state level, not federal. Because of the after-tax money, you generally should not prioritize 529 over paying off consumer debt. Okay, that's obvious. Okay, so yes, so the money goes in fact after tax. So I'm assuming you can take out the contributions without any problems, but the growth on actual contributions, that will probably be penalized, or should have asked that as well. There will be some consequences with that, but there's a lot of ways that you can still use that money. They can be used for somebody else, like your nephews or something like that. So it's definitely, in my opinion, it's a good problem to have. Again, I'm risking potentially being in this situation, but the upside of that is I'm giving my children options to go to college. That's how I look at it. Okay. Next question. Welcome if you're just joining us. Am I being overly aggressive with 529? Have a 4-year-old and a 8-month-old, starting a 529 for each when they were born. When the first was born, put 500 a month in just cause it seems like a nice round number, and with college costs growing so aggressively, seemed nice. So the new kid gets 500 as well. The market has been on a tear for the past several years. If no one has noticed, so now the older one has over 30K saved. I mean, again, that's a good problem to have. I told my buddy this, and he thought it was insane. Is there a downside to paying huge sums or downside of having huge sums in a 529? I realized you can only spend it in education. Should I be splitting this up between 529 and something else, IRA? Doing the math, assuming 6% annual return for the next 14 years means that account would be at 200,000K. Is that insane? Looking at future cost of college, tuition, room, board, it seems like that's reasonable. Okay, so yes, again, that's a good problem to have, right? 200K, that's definitely can fund their college, but 15 years later, it might not be enough because of inflation and government okaying universities to increase the how much the tuition costs, with all these debts going up and up and up. And this is the choice that you need to make, and gamble that you need to make, and these are the variables. You can put a little bit, but it might not be enough, which is okay.